In closing the first part of our two-day international conference, Homework, Artists' Studio Homes and Their Afterlives in Britain and the United States, organized by Hannah Hyman, Henry Moore Foundation, Valerie Ballin, Historic Artists' Homes and Studio, Program of the National Trust for Historic Preservation, and Sarah Turner, Paul Mellon Center for British Studies. I would like to especially thank the staff of the Mellon Center for graciously hosting today's conference, and the Terra Foundation for American Art for generously underwriting our cultural exchange between our colleagues from the United States and the United Kingdom. We are delighted to welcome our one colleague from France, too, and I hope you have met her and will meet her tonight. Today we learned about a remarkable range of artists, from Liz Pratt-Johns on Alma Tata at home in antiquity to Louise Campbell's On the Studio and the Modern Woman, Gluck, Eileen Agar, and Dora Gordine. Other women artists and their studio practices were also profiled, from the sculptors Elizabeth Ney and Barbara Hepworth to the diverse lives and relationships of American photographer Alice Austin and several queer artists in English national heritage. We also learned about engaging audiences and how studios are interpreted, some in unconventional ways, from Edward Valentine, DJ Rossetti, NC and Andrew Wyeth, and Francis Bacon. Rather than reflecting upon individual or collective lectures in depth in the brief time remaining, we can have those discussions at the Leighton House over refreshments. I wanted to share a personal realization on why and how we are all here today. In 2005, I began corresponding with Giles Waterfield, who was the senior research fellow at the Watts Gallery. I did not know about Giles' scholarly interest and passion for the study of artist studios, as he had illuminated in his writings, most recently in the exhibition catalog entitled The Artist Studio, in which he wrote an essay of the same name and edited the publication by Hogarth Arts in association with Compton Vernet to accompany the exhibition, The Artist Studio, at Compton Vernet in 2009, and Sainsbury Center for Visual Arts in 2010. At that time, the Artist Studio Museum Network was in its infancy, stewarded by the Watts Gallery, while the Historic Artists' Homes and Studio program of the National Trust had recently launched an independent website, artistshomes.org, funded by the Wyeth Foundation for American Art. The program, in operation over 15 years with over 30 members, continued to advocate and cross-promote the homes, studios, and gardens of American artists, open to the public for visitation and interpretation. Witness creativity was the program's tagline. Giles had become aware of what we finally call the Haas program and suggested a collaboration of some sort, starting with a link on each other's websites. In April 2016, I invited Giles to a convening of Haas members at Kykuit, a National Trust property formerly owned by the Rockefeller brothers in Tarrytown, New York, and he gave an eye-opening presentation on the Artist Studio Museum Network. Giles joined us on several field trips to the homes and studios of Alice Austin, very different from the photographs we saw today, Russell Wright, the industrial designer, and another trust property, Philip Johnson's Glass House in New Canaan, Connecticut. We talked about bringing our colleagues together for an international exchange, planning a joint exhibition. Giles was in the process of curating a photography show on artists in their studios from 1900, and staying in touch to continue our conversation. Giles passed away unexpectedly months later. We are now together 4 years later after my initial correspondence with Giles Waterfield, but we will not forget the kind and collegial gesture of one individual who reached across the pond to connect all of us today. May we raise a glass to our colleague tonight in his memory and continue the conversation that unites all of us, the preservation and interpretation of the places where artists around the world lived, worked, and played. Thank you.